Hey you guys, so welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while and it's been kind of delayed, so I wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys all about my labor and everything and why it wasn't vlogged and all of that. But before I get started, if you're new here, welcome. If you have watched me before, welcome back. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, leave a comment down below, and also don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified every single time I upload. I will be trying to upload more. I'm still trying to figure out my lighting and where I want to film and all that, but right now you guys are actually sitting in my window in my bedroom because baby Alexandria is actually sleeping right there, and I want to be able to hear if she wakes up. And this is the best natural lighting right now for me, and being able to hear her and be there next to her. So this is it for now. I do want to come up with a really good filming area. I just haven't figured that out, just moving into my house. Let's jump into why I didn't vlog my labor. On my last video, I talked to you guys a little bit about her belly size and that it was under the 5th percentile while I was pregnant, and finding out when I would be scheduled to be induced. So had my appointment, and actually she was doing a lot better, but because she still was on the smaller side, they decided to induce me my 37th week, not my 38th week. My boyfriend was able to come back down to Colorado because he had to go back to work while I was at the home away from home in Colorado. So he was able to make it down. He came Saturday and just stayed with me until I had her. The reason I didn't vlog it was actually because of how my labor went. So we'll get more into that as well. So I was supposed to be there at 7:30. So I got up, got ready, made sure everything was ready. My mom had my daughter for the day. And again, my original plan was to proceed with my labor completely natural. I did not want an epidural, and the reasons I didn't want an epidural was because I had it with my daughter and I didn't realize that I had scoliosis at the time. So when I got my epidural done, I actually ended up with a lot of back pain permanently, and yeah, so I just decided I didn't want that, and I didn't like not being able to move my legs at all with the epidural, and I had to have help with pushing, and it just wasn't enjoyable for me, and I wanted to really try this time natural. So when I went in, I was already dilated at a 3, 50% effaced, and station was -1. So if you don't know what all that means, 50% effaced means 100% effaced means you're totally thinned out, your cervix is. 50% is halfway, and 0% is you're not effaced at all. I was 50% effaced and dilated at a 3. A 3 dilated is not very big, but like I said, I was getting irregular contractions constantly. So they'd come regularly and then they would go away, and they would never stay consistent, but I'd get them all the time like that. So it was super uncomfortable for me. Station is how far into my pelvis that she is. So -5 being the furthest up, +5 being ready to push. She's all the way in my pelvis. So I was at -1. So anyways, so they're getting my IVs done and all that, and getting me hooked up and everything. And because of my blood disorder that I have von Willebrand's disease, is why I delivered in Colorado and not here in Wyoming, was because they just weren't equipped to handle if I were to bleed out and hemorrhage. By the time that they were done putting the monitors on me, getting me in the gown, getting my urine sample, and all that fun jazz, it was around between 9:30 and 10, and the doctor came in to check my cervix, and I was still at a 350% effaced. So she actually right then and there just decided to break my water, along with having the Pitocin, oxytocin, all that going to. So she breaks my water, and by the time she finished breaking my water, and everything, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. So this is when labor actually started getting going. So I was in labor for a total of 10 and a half hours. When I reached to the point I was at a 6, they gave me my deposition nasal spray, I think that's what it's called, to help me clot so I wouldn't hemorrhage when I had her. About at a 7, I started really hurting, to the point where I wanted something for pain. I wasn't nearly at an epidural yet, but I wanted something. I just was uncomfortable. So what they do is they have like kind of like a laughing gas, not really, but it's a gas mask that you wear. It's totally safe for the baby, but it like kind of numbs you, like you just don't care as much about the pain. You still feel it. It doesn't help it like the actual pain at all, but it does help you to like not care about it as much. So I did that, and I lasted on that for quite a while, and then they came and checked me again, and at this point I was at an 8 dilated. So, and at this point the gas was no longer helping me. I was in a ton of pain. I wasn't able to focus on anything. I was hurting really bad. So my next choice of like pain meds that I could have was fentanyl through my IV. It only lasts for 30 minutes. It's totally safe for the baby, but like I said, it only lasts for 30 minutes, and when I start pushing, they can no longer give it to me anymore. So at this point, they gave me the fentanyl, and I'm wanting an epidural. I can't take the pain anymore. It's hurting way too bad. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to insert it or not. I'm going to try, but I do have a short clip of me actually pushing. I'm not really sure if I'm going to put sound on it because it was natural. It was extremely painful for me. Anyways, we'll get to that. So, at this point, I asked them to get the anesthesiologist, sign my waiver, and I wanted the epidural. I couldn't take it anymore. I was at the point where I knew that I was not going to be able to do it naturally by myself without anything. So the anesthesiologist came up, and at this point, I was pretty mad. I'm dilated at a 9 now, and by the time he got there, and I still wanted my epidural. I thought he was coming in to give it to me right then and there. And they waited all day, knowing that I was actually still wanting an epidural if I couldn't handle it. They waited all day to not do the blood work that they needed to do with my blood disorder to see if I could even have the epidural. So I'm at a 9, pretty much ready to push almost. And he tells me that he has to get blood work done and it'll take 30 minutes. There's no 30 minutes at this point. In that moment, I was so mad that they waited all day. I was in pain. I wanted an epidural. I was just telling him, I don't care. I don't care if you need to do blood work. I don't care. Give it to me. Like I signed the waiver. I wanted it. And he refused to do it without that blood work, which I totally understand because if I were to have died or something, I get it. But in that moment, I was in a ton of pain and I just wanted it to end. And the people that were in the room with me were my boyfriend, my mom, and my boyfriend's aunt. My boyfriend's aunt was the one who was FaceTiming my boyfriend's mom and also recording my pushing. In that moment, I was just so mad. I knew that he wasn't going to get the blood work done in time for me and like for me to have it, and that I was going to have to do it naturally. And I, in that moment, like thought that I couldn't push through it. I could not push through that pain. I wanted it to end. It was just getting way out of control. It didn't matter if I was holding someone's hand, squeezing someone's hand, breathing. It did not matter. Naturally, I just felt like I couldn't handle the pain. So, he obviously did not make it back. And I started feeling the urge that I needed to push, and it was happening. The nurses came into the room, the doctor came in the room, they told me it's time to push. At this point, it was, I believe, 10 hours into labor. It took me 10 hours to get from a 3 to a 10. So, anyways, I am like ready to push. The doctor comes in, they're getting things ready to go. I have to push. I was pushing for less than 5 minutes. It took me about 4 pushes to actually push her out. But doing so that fast and like having her here, and I just couldn't deal with the pain, so I pushed even harder, and I just wanted it to be done with. So with that being said, I actually I got 1 stitch, and I tore up instead of down. So that was extremely just painful overall. But she was here, it was over, I got my stitch, her and no pain medicine stitching me up afterwards, extremely painful. Yeah, so, but this is probably going to be my last kid, and I'm glad that I was able to do it naturally. Now, after the fact, I'm glad that I was able to do it. I just, in the moment, it just hurt so bad. I just couldn't, I didn't think that I could actually do it. But women do it all the time, and you guys are awesome for the women that don't sit there and scream, I can't do this, because that was me. I sat there and cried in pain and just yelled, oh my God, I can't do this. Stop. Like, I need something. I was in so much pain. So kudos to all you women out there who do this naturally and are amazing, and don't do that, because that was excruciating painful. Anyways, so baby Alexandria came at 37 weeks to the day. She was 5 pounds, 15 ounces, 1 ounce off of being 6 pounds. She had a head circumference of 33, and she was 19 inches long. She looks nothing like me at all. She has extremely dark hair, like almost black. She has really dark complexion, and she has every facial feature of my boyfriend Dominic. So, and she's just hairy everywhere. He's Mexican, so it makes sense that she got those character traits. She just is extremely dark. So anyway, yeah. So she came, she was born at 8:09 p.m. Much the reason that I was unable to really vlog the whole day was because of doing it naturally. I was just in so much pain, and Dominic was by my side the entire time, like just comforting me and holding my hand for hours on end because of how bad it was. And I also waited a really long time to even want the like gas or fentanyl, because I just wanted to push as long as I possibly could with nothing and see how bad it got with nothing. So yeah, so I did it naturally, 10.5 hours. She came, it is April 4th, and Monday, today's Thursday, Monday she will be 3 weeks, and I absolutely cannot wait to do a video like introducing her to you guys, because she's amazing. She's beautiful. Ava absolutely loves being a big sister. She loves her. She's always trying to help out. A couple more like life updates. I'm no longer working. I am at home with my daughter Alexandria. Ava is still in preschool, obviously, because she's in preschool. I'm starting her out at 3 days a week, and then she'll go back all 5, but I wanted her to adjust to the baby and like an easy transition back into school. So I am going to be home. I'm actually starting college this summer on June 3rd. I have to take 12 credits to receive any financial aid. So 12 credits in an 8-week course, that's a lot to do. If you have any tips and tricks about how you handled summer school and college with 12 credits, please leave comments below. I really need some help with it. I'm obviously moved into my new place. I moved into my new place about a week and a half before I had her. So things are still not all the way even unpacked. That's why my house looks like this right now. Anyways, today is April 4th, and after I had my daughter, my grandpa, who is 92 years old, was admitted into hospice when I had her. So we knew that he was dying at the same time that I was having her. So they gave him morphine and everything to keep him comfortable. The 29th of March, my daughter was born on March 18th. So the 29th, he actually passed away. They took him off of oxygen because at that because at that point in time he was no longer able to tell who was in the room and or even able to open up his eyes. He was completely unconscious. He had no idea that anyone was there visiting him. He couldn't move. And they had told all of us that keeping him on oxygen would actually just prolong it. It would just barely keep him alive. And we just didn't want him to be in pain anymore. We didn't want him to be in pain anymore. So we made the decision to take him off of oxygen, and within 15 minutes of taking him off of oxygen, he had died. He died at 6:30 p.m. on March 29th. He was 92 when he died, and him and my grandma were married for 66 years. There's been a lot of things that have been going on with me, and why I haven't been very frequent with videos. So I just wanted to explain to you guys like what has been going on in my life. If you don't know, or if you're watching this from my beauty channel or you're watching this from my vlog channel, my beauty channel is Beauty Obsessed. I will have it listed in the description box down below. And then my vlog channel is Rad Family Vlogs. I will also have that listed in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, subscribe, hit that like button. Don't forget to press that bell so you guys are notified every single time I upload. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching.